Okay, one of my favorite websites. I thought this would be cool for Lisa and Dad. I thought you'd get a kick out of this image or this graph. Politics, federal tax payments per state to the federal government, and then the other half is federal tax allotments per state. Basically, federal tax dollars received per tax dollar paid. I'm going to run through a couple of things here. I think this is very interesting and kind of comical. Okay, now I'm back. All right, one of the biggest points I want to make on this is I never realized how the money gets allotted, and I think it's very interesting. You know, this is all politics. The point of this video is 17 states in this country carry all the other ones. In other words, look at DC right here. Here's my cursor. Per citizen, they pay $11,582 to the federal government in taxes. And this is what per citizen. DC gets $65,109 back for every. What is that? 6-1? I don't know what it is. But anyways, oh, one last one. New Mexico. For every citizen per capita, $5,153, and the federal government sends back to the state $10,733 per citizen. But this chart down here is the most interesting to me. Just a minute. So down here, bottom left, see there's New Hampshire. New Hampshire's in the black. They give the federal government, well, in other words, they get less back from the federal government than they pay. Massachusetts does too, even California does. But I thought it was interesting. From here down, from Oregon all the way over here, there's only 17 states that are in the black, meaning they're not welfare states, not sucking off the federal government and all the other taxpayers. I thought that was incredible. Only 17 states are in the black. So you can imagine now, during this downturn, this recession, how whacked out things are. Because at the beginning of it, 17 states were carrying all the other ones. So what's that, 33? Yeah. It's unbelievable. So anyways, you can tell I love graphs. You couldn't read this on a piece of paper and understand what the hell this means. But to see it right there in ink, that 17 carry 33, it's pretty incredible. And that's obvious too. The closer you get to DC, Maryland, Virginia, if you look at the chart a little closer, you'll see the closer you get to DC, the bigger the welfare states get. But anyways, I don't see it any other way, but any state with a 1.10 or basically above 1.1 is basically a welfare state. The rest of the country, they're not paying their fair share. And I think during this election, stuff like this is going to be a big issue. Who are the welfare states? Who's not carrying their load? And like with California, Nevada, Florida, sucking up hundreds of billions of dollars worth of bad, mortgage foreclosures that Fannie, Freddie, and FHA are backing. Anyways, I thought this was a fun chat. Talk to you later.